Passionate Life. It's Precious KW here, and I'm so excited to speak with you all. It has been a great month so far, my birthday month. We've been raising some really good funds for God's Grace Ministries. And what else has happened this month? Like amazing stuff. I did First Friday Spotlight of the Single Wives Club, so go back and take a look at that. And then I was interviewed by the women of Talkify as well as Relationship. And I'm so excited to show y'all a little snippet of our interview. The full interview is on her YouTube channel, so take a look. Of course, I have that linked above as well as below. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to that little button that says subscribe. I've even added to my videos for you guys to make it simple. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you're living simply and passionately, and I'll see you around. Stay tuned. Watch the rest of the video.
Not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around.
Hello, beautiful people. It's Miss Marisha, matchmaker, relationship coach, and host of Talk to Me. So my first guest, a dear friend of mine, we go back over 10 years. Dang, that's quite a long time. But my first guest, former therapist, she's now a high school counselor, motivational speaker, and the founder of Simply Passionate Life. I cannot wait to dive into this conversation with Miss Precious Kofi Williams. Let's go.
Hey.
OMG. Thank you for making time. I appreciate this.
No problem. I am so happy to be here. Like, this is like what I wanted to do, connect with like-minded people and talk to people. So thanks for having me.
All right. Well, as you know, we are giving tips to the 21st century mom. And just in case you're not a mom, but want to be a mom, these are going to be some stories and strategies that you can use to, again, get prepared or change how things are working if you're not enjoying the experience thus far. But Precious, first, before we dive into mamahood, before we dive into being a career woman and a career mama, I want you to take people back to the Precious Kofi that I knew before there was the Williams tacked onto that name. So talk to people a little bit about your lifestyle and mindset at that point.
So when I was single, I never looked at it as a curse or as I'm doing my time until I get married. It was an opportunity for me to be myself and to share myself freely. And I love being single. I love being able to share myself freely with the different endeavors I had. I traveled. I did multi-level marketing companies. I made crazy investments, bought a house at 22 because I was like, well, right? You're single. You have the freedom to do those things. And I used the wisdom of the Lord. I'm a Christian. I followed Christ. So I was able to have fun and live the life that he wanted for me, but didn't compromise my values. So I had a good time when I was single, and I always looked at it as, if this is where I am, this is where I'm supposed to be. So with all of that, I just really poured into my friendships. My all-time, I guess the main thing that I've always believed in is that whoever's in your life is like a treasure, is like a gift, and you're supposed to really steward that. I treated my friends how I wanted my spouse to treat me, how I wanted to treat my spouse. I used my friendships, my brothers in Christ from church. I treated them the way I would treat my husband. Not the benefits, but just the honor, the respect, being able to listen to authority. All those like characteristics are things that I worked on as a single person. And now looking back, I really appreciate that time because it hasn't been hard for me to listen to my husband or to go under his leadership or to just treat him real sweet. And, those types of things that some people struggle with are natural for me. Anybody out there who is just dating or not dating, just enjoying their singlehood, treat the relationships in your life, with value and really pour into people, because that's what you're going to have to do 24/7 when you do enter a covenant with someone else.
Ooh, I really, really appreciate that. And that's a great perspective to have in terms of treating people how you want to be treated, regardless of the dynamic of that relationship. really honoring people, respecting people, loving people, because it's that energy that you're putting out that you're getting back, whether it's from your friends, whether it's from your family, or in this case, your kids or your husband. So I think that's really great advice. All right, so transitioning to key turning points. I want to kind of back up and go to another topic that continuously comes up in my practice as a matchmaker. I like to get the perspective of other people, particularly those who have specific experience in this area, and that's dating people with children. So let's transition to the topic of motherhood, considering, yes, it's also Mother's Day. But one of the things that I'm curious to know is how did you view the process of dating someone who already had children?
My sister and I, my younger sister and I, didn't know that my elder siblings were from a different marriage until we were 15 and 16 years old. We had a family lifestyle where, we were one family. It was one unit, and there was no reason for us to know because their other parents were in Ghana, West Africa, where I'm from. Now, that life experience really shaped me. I had a clause in my dating contract that you couldn't have kids, but it wasn't necessarily something I was looking for either. I think that dating someone with children gives you a very good insight into how they will be as a parent. My husband was a single father. He had custody of his daughter, now my bonus baby. And, he was the bomb, child. Like, I never understood how he did it. He worked from 3 to 11, and he had her at grandma's house, and he did, all these things. And some nights he worked overnight so he could be with her during the day.
Right. It
was just crazy. And I remember distinctly saying, how do you manage a whole household? And I can't even manage myself. Like, he used to, even financially, he could balance his, he could care for his entire household with less than I was making and managing my own household. And so that was very key for me. I took it as an opportunity to see, like, wow, this is what he will be like with our children.
Right.
And so I think that's very important. And, her mother was not completely in the picture, so it was a little bit different. So for those who are looking at dating someone with children, I would say a few things like, one, think about the relationship that person and the child's mother or father has. That's very important. If it's an amicable situation and both parties have moved on, I wouldn't count that as a ding or, well, that's one point against the I would look at that as, how are they handling it? How are they handling life and what life throws them? And then for me, secondly, it helped us to slow down. We really did take our time. We were infatuated with each other, but we had to slow down. We couldn't rush through it. We couldn't make any sudden movements because there was a child involved.
Right.
And because I'm so passionate and I'm such a, wildfire, it was good for me to know that, let me take my time. Let me be sure about this. We knew each other for about 4 months before I met his daughter. And that was something that I was like, I respected him for it, because that made me know that he wasn't just doing that with every woman he met, just bringing her in and out of his daughter's life. So, those are things that really, I look at it as a blessing.
And so there seems to be some opportunities there where, people who traditionally, me being one of them, shut down the idea of dating someone with children. Have my reasons, don't judge. But typically, we look at it as, oh, don't want to be with that person. They already been there, done that. I need to be the first one, the only one, blah, blah, blah. But I think even looking at your own personal family upbringing, I think that it has a lot to say of parents who consider, again, amicable separations, making sure that everyone in the family unit is loved equally. There is no division or different treatment. And so that goes, again, I want to say with your parents too, or with the parents who live by that type of philosophy. So that's really cool. One other thing that I was interested on this same topic is discipline. Now, we all